Have you ever watched a girl trade grief for bloom? A small hand holding a small grief. A seed of sorrow in a palm. She did not call it loss. She called it a place to start. Stay with me, because what happens next will ask you to choose, keep the sorrow, or feed it into something that grows. She lived where seasons were blunt. Winter lasted too long. Hope felt brittle, like thin ice. But she had a basket and two good hands. If you have ever held onto something broken, thinking it would still become beautiful, hit like, so another dreamer finds this wisdom. The girl's name was Mara. Not famous, not rich, not loud. Just Mara, a quiet knot of will in a roadside house. Her family kept what they could. A small stove, a few worn bowls, a cracked mirror that showed more shadow than skin. When the harvest failed, they burned the hopes they could not keep. Ash filled the corners. Ash lived in the seams of their clothes. People in town said sorrow changes a face. They spoke the truth like a verdict. You will wear loss on your cheeks, they said. You will be less. Mara listened. She also planted. Not crops, small daily things. A smile when the baker faltered. A stitch in a torn blanket. A quiet song while the kettle boiled. Still the mirror held shadows. Still the ash sat heavy in her basket. She could carry the ash or put it down. She chose to carry it, not to keep it, but to use it. She went to a place no one went unless they had to. An old field behind the broken mill. Wild grass lived there, stubborn and thin. At its center, a dead stump sat like an old chest. People used to gather there and whisper about change. Mara laid her ashes on the stump. They were the remains of failed bread, of burned letters, of plans eaten by bad weather. She did not sit and mourn. She did not clutch them. She sang a small, steady song and dug a shallow hole. She mixed the ash with the last of her soup water and a pinch of flour, small alchemy. Then she planted two seeds she had kept from a grandmother's purse. Night came. Wind came. The town slept. Mara stayed. She watched the tiny bed with the stubbornness of someone who believed in second chances. She went home with empty hands and a calm that felt heavy and true. Days were not instant miracles. They were small, steady votes. She watered when the sky felt tight. She whispered when crows came near. She defended the sprouts from goats with a broom and a stubborn laugh. People watched. They muttered. Some said it was foolishness to feed seeds from ashes. Others began to lean closer, just to see what stubbornness could do. One morning, a green pinprick split soil where once there was only gray. Then another. Then the field became a secret chorus of young green. Leaves unfurled like simple promises. Neighbors peeked from windows. A baker paused his kneading to look. Old men stopped their arguing and asked, almost to themselves, when did we last see such small miracles? Mara kept tending. She watered. She weeded. She spoke to each plant like a friend. Her hands grew dirted, not with ash now, but with life. Her face changed, not from makeup, not from fortune, but from work and light. The cracked mirror began to show a different thing. Not a face freed from sorrow entirely, scars remain, but a face that carried hope like a new garment. The season turned. Where there had been brittle stems, there were now heavy buds. People came with their own small losses. A woman brought a shawl frayed by winter. A boy brought a broken toy. A man came with a ledger of debt and the ash of a failed trade. They asked, awkward and careful, "Can you help?" Mara did not pretend to have magic. She had learned a different kind of craft, the craft of turning what was left into the work that makes more. She taught them how to mix their wrongs into something that might feed growth. She showed them how to add patience, how to add small, steady labor, how to add a kindness at dawn. When people poured their ashes into the soil, they did not vanish. They worked. They returned as fiber. They fed roots. They became the strength that held up young shoots. Soon, where the field had been a place of ruin, there was color. Not all at once. Never all at once. But enough to change the town's weather. Bread rose steadier. The market found a rhythm. The town laughed earlier in the day than it had in seasons. Now it's your turn. What are you holding? Drop one word in the comments. Maybe loss, maybe shame, maybe doubt. Drop it. Then tap hype. Not for me, but for the next person who needs to see that small work makes beauty. Hype it forward, so someone else in the dark finds this light. Mara taught them another truth. Beauty is not always given. Sometimes it is made. Sometimes it is traded, ashes for bloom, grief for craft, memory for new work. The people learned that the alchemy is not easy. It requires stubborn tending. It requires showing up when the harvest is only a rumor. It requires lending a hand when the neighbor's shoulder is bowed. Mara's hands bore marks of that work. Calluses like maps. Small scars like punctuation. Her eyes held a softness that came from answering hard things with steady action. She did not live without sorrow. She lived with it, and then she used it. Like this video. Subscribe to Rise Remember Tales for more wisdom. Let's build this community together. Real change, every day. And share this with someone who needs to know. Your loss can become the soil of your next life. Beauty is not only found, it is made. Ashes can be seed. And second chances are small, steady work, one day at a time.